Good morning, I'm David Reimer at TexasStormChasers.com. This is your morning update for July 28th, 2011 on Tropical Storm Dawn. As I noted on last night's discussion on the website, the convection over the center of circulation for Tropical Storm Dawn had decreased significantly yesterday afternoon into yesterday evening. Most of the convection was being driven by the normal daytime heating across the Yucatan Peninsula, but none of the convection was really over the center of circulation of Dawn, which at the time was just offshore to the east, passing through the channel coming into the Gulf of Mexico from the Caribbean. Overnight, the convection has begun to redevelop over the center of Dawn, which still has a well-defined low-level circulation, even though it was devoid of convection for several hours. We don't know if this storm has weakened much. Right now, it does not appear that the wind speeds or pressure has been affected. However, a Hurricane Hunter aircraft will be entering the system in about an hour and a half, and we'll be able to determine if any strength changes have occurred, primarily if the storm has weakened or if the low-level circulation has shifted due to the new reformation of convection. Here's the latest early model guidance for Tropical Storm Dawn. This model suite was run at 0601 AM Central Daylight Time. In comparison to the Zero Zulu suite of model guidance, which was featured on last night's blog post discussion, model guidance has generally become more clustered and is in better agreement on the track Tropical Storm Dawn is going to take. Right now, models have shifted south somewhat from the Zero Zulu suite model guidance. At the moment, the models are generally in agreement that the storm will continue moving northwest towards the southern Texas coastline, and right now models are clustered around the Corpus Christi area. After landfall, the storm will continue moving northwest and eventually make its presence known in West Texas, especially the Big Bend Desert. I do need to note, however, due to the disorganized nature of Tropical Storm Dawn, a low-level reformation is possible. What this means is the center of circulation is generally attracted to the strongest convection in a weakened state. What this means is if a strong area of convection was developed, say 50 miles west of the current position of Dawn, then the center of circulation could actually reform under that convection and the storm could essentially reform 50 miles west. What this would do to tropical model guidance is that the tracks would generally shift 100 miles in either direction, and if the system were to, say, form 50 miles further west, then the tracks would shift south between 50 and 100 miles. This is a very complex pattern right now because we have a large upper-level ridge over the country which has been providing us with this horrendous heat wave. The system's so small that a small weakness in this ridge would allow the storm to make a adjustment to its path. We'll have to watch for this very closely because the track is obviously very important to a lot of folks and could mean a great difference. Say if the ridge was stronger, then the storm would be steered in one direction, weaker, it'd be steered in the other. At this point, it's still a little too early to tell where the storm's going to make landfall, and as we'll see on the next slide, the Hurricane Center has taken that into consideration. Here's the latest National Hurricane Center Advisory product released at 4 a.m. At that point, the storm was located near 23 degrees north and 88.7 degrees west with an estimated surface minimum pressure of 1,000 millibars and estimated surface winds of 40 miles per hour or 35 knots. At this point, the storm is moving west-northwest at 10 miles per hour. A tropical storm watch has been issued from the Texas-Mexico border up north along the Texas coast to the San Luis Pass just west-southwest of Galveston. At this point, it appears the storm is going to be making landfall around 1 a.m. Saturday with maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour. The cone of uncertainty has been shifted southward from last night and now extends roughly from the Texas-Mexico border towards the central Texas coast. It's important not to focus on the center line of this storm as the guidance is going to definitely change as the storm changes organization and becomes more organized. So it's best to focus on the cone of uncertainty when making decisions. At this point, it does not appear the storm's going to become a major hurricane, and it should not be a high-impact event. However, some strong winds are likely, and if the storm's able to reach about 60 miles an hour, then there could be some minor damage involving some tin roofs, trees, etc. Speaking of intensity forecast, here's the latest intensity guidance from the 06 Zulu suite of models for Tropical Storm Dawn. At this point, most models are in agreement that the storm will maintain tropical storm strength until it makes landfall in approximately 2 days along the Texas coast. Most models bring this storm up to about a 45 to 55 mile an hour tropical storm. The Hurricane Center has this storm becoming a 60 mile an hour tropical storm at landfall. It should be noted that because of the small compact nature of this storm, some of the models are too low are run on too low of a resolution to accurately depict this storm. As such, it's important to note that rapid intensity fluctuations are possible with this storm. So it is possible this storm could be approaching hurricane strength when it makes landfall. That's not a particularly high probability, but it's something that needs to be monitored. Finally, here's the best part of this system, the rainfall. As I've been saying all summer, the only way we're going to get a good widespread rainfall across a large area of Texas is for a tropical system to make landfall and bring its copious amounts of moisture inland. This storm is going to live up to that. Tropical Storm Dawn is carrying copious amounts of moisture with it, as any tropical system would, and once it moves inland, it's going to start dumping heavy rain across a pretty decent area wherever the system tracks. This graphic is made by the Hydrometeorological Prediction Center. It's the 5-day rain amounts. It was made last evening based on yesterday's afternoon guidance. While the location of the rainfall amounts are going to change with new model guidance, it's important to note that widespread 2 to 4, possibly in excess of 6 inches of rain is likely wherever the system tracks across South Texas. And this is going to be great news for areas which, actually, considering the entire state's an exceptional drought, whatever areas get rain are going to benefit greatly from this. This probably won't completely break the drought, but we'll see. It depends on how strong the tropical system is. If we can get this system to strengthen to about 60 miles an hour, we should get a lot of rain across some areas of the southern half of the state, and this will be greatly beneficial. It won't completely eliminate the drought, but it will help the drought and likely reduce it from the exceptional drought category 4. So in conclusion, we're going to continue monitoring Tropical Storm Dawn today as the system continues to move into the Gulf of Mexico. The hurricane hunters will have an aircraft in the system in about 90 minutes, and from that point on, they're going to have aircraft coming in every few hours, so we'll be able to keep a good eye on the system. We'll see how well it's able to organize this afternoon. It's not particularly organized this morning, but because of the compact nature of this storm, if it's able to get convection to fire over the center and maintain itself, it could ramp up in a pretty significant way. We'll keep everybody updated. Make sure you stay tuned to our Facebook and Twitter pages for the latest updates. And this is actually the first time we've done this video. A little bit of a test here, so I want to thank everybody for watching. Give us some feedback. You can watch our updates on Facebook at facebook.com/TXStormChasers and on Twitter at TXStormChasers, and of course on our website at www.TexasStormChasers.com. I'm David Reimer. Thanks for watching.